What's going on, everybody? Jeff Rose from goodfinancialsense.com. Welcome to another edition of GFC TV. And this is where I'm going to answer your question because I love answering reader questions. So if you have a question that needs an answer, head on over to goodfinancialsense.com/ask and ask away, and we will get your question answered. All right, so today's question comes from Noreen, who's coming from NYC. What's up, Big Apple? So Noreen asks, my question, what advice do you have for freelancers and those with varied income? I'm a model whose pay can vary drastically from week to week. I don't have huge figures of business income yet. We're still waiting, Noreen, it's gonna happen. For my salary that I can set up an automatic withdrawal for steady retirement savings. How do I get started in building my fortune when I can sometimes pocket $1,000 in a week to savings retirement, but sometimes don't have any extra to add to savings into retirement? Freelancing is a growing employment trend, and I'm sure that most are self-employed GFCers, I love that she said GFCers, out there with unpredictable income who would love to improve their saving strategies. All right, Noreen, that is a great question. And whereas I never really did freelancing, when I first started in the business, I basically made nothing. In fact, my third paycheck, whenever I became a financial advisor, my third paycheck in the business, I netted $856 for the entire month. We got paid once a month. So you talk about having to budget and really watch what I was spending my money on. That was a real life budgeting experience. $856, so a little more or a little less than $1,000 a week that you could be making. So what's the one thing that you need to do? Well, first thing and foremost is that you have to keep your expenses in check. It can be really easy to want to have a big fancy apartment and to have a car and maybe live in New York City, you don't do cars, but you can eat out all the time, new clothes, whatever that is. You have to keep your expenses in check. The only reason that I survived on that $856 paycheck for that entire month is because, one, I was sharing a house with 3 of my buddies from college, so my rent was dirt cheap. 2, I didn't have a car payment. I have a blog post where I talk about my 1998 Chevy Lumina that I drove for the first several years of my career. And the reason I drove that is because I inherited it from my grandmother. It was completely paid off. It was a total grandma car, but I didn't care because I didn't have a car payment. And the third thing is that I cut out the crap. I recognized that I couldn't afford to eat out every single night. I couldn't afford to go to happy hour with my friends. I couldn't afford to buy a big screen TV, even though flat screens were the in thing at that point in time. And I still had that huge TV that was about yay wide. I knew that I couldn't afford that, so I had to cut out the crap. The second thing that you need to do is try to identify if there's any sort of predictability in your income stream, meaning that can you look back in the last 6 months, 12 months, 18 months to see about what you're making per month. If you can identify some sort of trend, what I would suggest is identify what that trend is and then take 80% of that, and that becomes your salary. That's what you pay yourself. Anything over and above that, you have to put that in cash savings. The one thing of being a freelancer is that, as you know, your income is so unpredictable that having cash on hand is going to be super important for those days and those months where the cash is tight, where the jobs aren't as frequent as they used to be, and you need to have the extra cash to float you until that next payday. And the third thing that I would advise is that, yes, you should start investing, but don't feel that you have to save everything right now. Start small. Even if it's $50 a month in some sort of investment account, Roth IRA, traditional IRA, whatever that is, that can make a huge difference. Most people think that it takes thousands of dollars to get started investing, and it doesn't. It all starts with a small amount, but the most important thing is just starting. If you're investing $50 a month and you're averaging 8% return, over a 30-year period, you could grow that amount to be $75,000. Not bad for $50 a month. Well, if you're saving $250 a month over that same period, averaging 8%, that could be $375,000. So as you can see, it doesn't take a lot to get going, but what it does take is just starting. So those are my 3 suggestions for you, but I also have a bonus tip, especially for all the freelancers out there. My bonus tip is this: try to identify what your unique ability is. Now, I can't take credit for unique ability. I got this from Dan Sullivan, the founder of the Strategic Coaching Program. So Dan Sullivan describes your unique ability as what is the thing that you love to do, that you could do 24/7, but most importantly, you get paid very well to do it. And make sure that you try to operate in that realm of your unique ability as much as you can. And then identify the things that you're doing that are not your unique ability. So any jobs that you're taking that might not fit what your specialty is or what you're really passionate about, do your best to get those out and focus on what you're most passionate about, and that is your unique ability. All right, Narina, I hope that's helpful. Good luck working down the runway. Identify what those trends are, start saving small, and cut out the crap. Keep your expenses in check. Once again, if you are a fellow GFC out there and you have a question that you want answered, head on over to goodfinancialsense.com/ask. Happy to answer your question and give you the information you need to take action. This is Jeff Rose. Until next time, take care.